Upstream, in the inner canyon, dark silences are deepened by the roar of stones. Something is listening, and I listen too. Who is it that intrudes here? Who's breathing? I pick a fern to see its spores, cast it away, and am filled in that instant with misgiving. The great sins, so the Sherpas say, are to pick wildflowers and to threaten children. I was very lucky with a snow leopard, and I really hadn't expected that, although I expected a certain amount. Edo Roshi said, no expectations, expect nothing, which is very good advice, but I did. I'm as greedy spiritually as the next person, and I certainly was then. But it came about because a friend of mine named George Schaller was a zoologist, a conservation biologist. He told me that he was going on this trip to study the blue sheep in the Himalaya, and it was a location of snow leopards, and he was the only person at that time who'd ever photographed a snow leopard in the wild. In that period, my wife died, and I had to, and she was a very, very, very sincere student of Zen Buddhism, really. And in a way, I wanted to go there for her, too. I mean, the source country of Buddhism in the south of Nepal. And it was such an extraordinary world was opening up. Every day, we went back in time. We went further north. We went deeper into winter and back in time. Everything became simpler and simpler until finally we were with people who didn't even know what country they lived in, literally. They were way up in northern Nepal on the Tibetan border, and geography meant very little to them. And they may have been the most intact Buddhist community left. Yes, if you've understood a frog, you've understood everything. And that's an old, Zen saying, the whole world in a grain of sand. It's a classic sort of concept, because there's no discrimination. A frog, a tiger, or a hurricane, a dog turd on the sidewalk, it's all part of the whole. Shakyamuni said, above heaven and below earth, I alone am. It doesn't mean he is the only thing. It means that in him, everything else manifests. And it's that idea. It's that idea. And when you have an opening, when you have a kensho, of course, everything, you're seeing it very, very clearly through that eye, for the first time, really. And it's absolutely thrilling. It's always the thing that triggers a kensho is almost always something very, very ordinary, very ordinary. Rice in a bowl, water in a pail. How do you like these common miracles? It's a common miracle, but you suddenly see how miraculous it is. There's that wonderful, whose verse is that? I think it's Basho, Master Basho said, how lucky is he who can see the cherry blossoms fall and not say, ah, time is passing. Just see the cherry blossoms fall. That is plenty. It's just there. You don't have to be thinking about past or future because you spoil the moment.